Hello, beloved consumers. Thank you for joining us for Starseed Disclosure Project. I'm Unicorn Unicron, and today we are here with Kyrie. Hello, Kyrie.
Hey guys.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to talk to you. You have some really awesome and unique experiences that I know a little bit about. And the first question always is, do you identify as a starseed?
Yes, I do. I am a Andromedan starseed mainly, but it's a hybrid starseed of Andromedan and Alpha Centaurian.
That sounds really cool. How did you find out that you were a starseed? What did that process look like?
So it was pretty late in life. I didn't know this stuff as a kid or growing up, and I really just found some crystals and through colors and mainly through colors, I started looking into space and galaxies and put it all together.
That's kind of a unique answer. I think I don't know that too many people are saying that they discovered all this stuff just through simple colors. So, um,
Yeah.
how did that happen? Did you just find certain colors and crystals, and then you just decided to Google stuff? It gave you certain impressions, or
Yeah, so in real life with my eyes, I was seeing magenta light everywhere, and I thought maybe there was an issue with my contacts or something weird. And so I looked it up and I looked up magenta crystals and I found this flame aura. And so I looked it up, I kept looking, and it's associated with the crown chakra, this color. So it would be like right here. And I just like through meditation and Googling stuff, I found that. So I drew a picture of Andromeda, and it was very much magenta and purples and stuff like that. And I looked it up, and that's what it looked like. So
that's that's really great, and I love the way that that came about. Did it come with any other spiritual awakening?
I think that was pretty much. So my first spiritual awakening was in middle school. Right between middle school and high school, I had a friend who introduced me to all of that stuff. And previous to that, I was not aware of anything like that. Um, and then I kind of pushed all of that psychic stuff out of my mind. And then when I joined Unicult on 12/31/15, that's when my second awakening happened and I started seeing aliens for the first time.
Wow, what did that look like? How did that start happening?
So I didn't used to believe in aliens at all, and I was 100% sure that they did not exist until I saw one in real life with my own eyes. And it was camping. I was camping, and I woke up really early, and there were these colorful beings just standing in front of me, just like staring at me.
What do you mean colorful? Like, was their skin colorful or their clothes? Like, how did you know they were aliens, not just people, not a dream?
So they were light beings. They were see through. So that's why I know that they were not human. One of them was purple like this, and she was completely naked. She didn't have genitals, but she was just like a light form. And these figures were like 7 or 8 feet tall and just very much not human. They were like airy and not solid and floating. And they also were not speaking. It was like they were seeing humans for the first time and
Wow.
I was aliens for the first time.
Did you have any exchange with them, telepathic or verbal?
I didn't know what to think. I just kind of freaked out and went back to sleep. And then later on, I did some Googling, and I at first thought they were Arcturians, but they're not. I thought they were Pleiadians, but they're not. And it just took a lot of Googling different star seed, star people, and finding out, like putting all the clues together.
So that was about, just a little over a year ago now. And what experiences have you had since?
So I actually got to a place where I was channeling lots of different aliens multiple times a day, and it got really intense, and I was seeing them too much, and so I basically told them to stop coming to me through my eyes and only come to me telepathically because I
Wow.
was just seeing gray aliens. I was seeing Arcturians all the time, and they're really nice, but it was just freaking me out too much. So I was like, please come to me telepathically. That's okay. Just don't come to me in real life anymore.
So you, I know you have a partner, and did they end up seeing these beings as well, or was this just something that you were experiencing?
This was only myself. He thinks that there could be aliens out there, but as far as I know that we've talked, he hasn't said he's seen any.
Have you seen any UFOs in the sky, or just these visitors in your space?
Yeah, I have seen UFOs. When I was a little kid, the only thing that I can really remember that's spiritual and non scientific is that I would see these spaceships that were triangles like this, and they had three orbs of light, and they would fly directly over my house from south to north by the coast. And they would be flying from these mountains out to the coast. And I would see them, people I knew would see them, and my mom kept saying, "That's not real. That's just a plane. That's not real. It's a military fighter jet," things like that. So I pretty much put it out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Our,
haven't seen any UFOs since then.
our parents do a good job of saying, no, it's just coming from your
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, what specific entities do you connect with? You were saying Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedons, anything else?
So it's kind of weird because I'm not from Arcturus at all, but the Arcturians have been the easiest beings for me to communicate with. And what I found with them was that as long as you ask, they're willing to come to you and communicate, as far as what has been my experience. I've been telepathically communicating with Andromedans. I've been to Alpha Centauri in some dream state visions, but I have not met beings there. I know there are beings there, but I've only experienced the planet so far. And then there's these unnamed, I don't know where they're from, but they're blue beings, and they wear blue jumpsuits, and they have crystals, like a red raspberry crystal right here. And that's sort of like their brain. But
Wow.
they channeled that they don't have a brain like humans do, and it looks like a crystal, and it's like their equivalent of a brain.
How do you keep record of this or your channeling? Do you ever write it down, or do you just kind of say, wow, that was weird, and then go on with your life?
I always write it down because I don't want to forget. It would be so easy to forget. So yeah, I have them in journals, and eventually they will be online, but it's going to take a lot of scanning.
Yeah.
And I've also been drawing them too.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's really
Yeah.
awesome. I love drawings of people's
Yeah.
visions and aliens and things. So what does it mean to be a starseed to you?
I think there's a lot of responsibility with being a starseed. We can channel so much information, and anyone can channel. Um, but I guess it's kind of hard to put in words, but it's this feeling of responsibility that you will do the right thing and use your powers for good, and basically help enlighten the planet and raise its vibration.
And how will that look? How does that look to you? Is it more of a day-to-day thing, or do you have any specific like missions or goals for your life um, that will be more concrete, or is it just like an energetic thing?
I think it's going to take a lot of time, and it will be multi generational. It'll take a lot of people. One thing that I channeled from the reptilians is that we should be treating animals better, and we should not be eating them. And I'm not vegan and I'm not vegetarian, and that's something that I'm working on. But they would like the humans to treat non human entities more kindly. So that's one thing that we can do as a whole to raise the vibration of the planet, is to stop eating meat and to stop using animal products like milk.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember deciding to come to Earth?
I don't remember that instant, but I did connect to the Godhead or the God Source, and I will be posting a separate video about that. But I think it was the Arcturians who helped me. The Arcturians, for me are very much connected with Sananda and God. And they all took me. I was in real life at a beach, and I sat down and meditated, and I had this like dream or meditation. And sorry, I forgot the original question.
Oh, just deciding to come to Earth.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the Arcturians showed me how we reincarnate. And let me see if I have a diagram of that right now.
Okay, that sounds
But
awesome.
it was like super trippy.
Has connecting to all these entities been easy for you, or is it something that you've had to work at?
I would say it was super easy. At first, it was really weird because I had never experienced this as a kid or until later years. So I was like, okay, like, do I take this and run with it or do I push it away? And I think anyone can be this psychic. It's just choosing, do you want to believe what is actually coming to you? And if it serves you, then yeah.
Do you remember any past lives from any of these planets?
I do remember from another planet. I remember a planet where there was a purple sky and two moons. I don't know what planet that is. Have you ever heard of something like that?
I'm sure there are many.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one that I remember most prevalently. Okay, so it basically looks like this. Here's Earth, and it's this little dotted circle going like this. So I'll explain it. So what they showed me is that when you die, you leave Earth, and Earth is right here. So let's say Earth is this, and your spirit comes out and it goes in an ellipsis like this. And when you die, you meet up with these blue spirits, and those blue spirits are aliens. And they're sort of like, so it goes humans, blue spirits, and white spirits or angels. The white spirits are angels, not aliens. And the um, the aliens are kind of like it's hard to explain. So the angels are spirit guides and they're guardians, and they're like the top tier, and then below them, sort of like the understudies. Those are the aliens, and they're all of them are benevolent beings that help you. And once you die, you come out and your soul is up there, and it meets up with these blue and um, white beings, and you choose what you want to do in your next life. You're set out with all the options, and you have this infinite plane of time that you can see into, and you can choose every single option that's going to happen in your life. And that's what they showed me. And it shows you, so basically, um, you die and then you reincarnate to a blue being and then you reincarnate to a angelic or white being, and it's all souls helping each other out through this. And the interesting thing is, when you die and you're out there, there's no evil spirits at all. There's only benevolent ones.
So where do bad people go?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. Maybe they're just not reincarnated, or maybe they're on an entirely different plane. But the plane I was taken to was highly protected, and it was only benevolent beings. Only benevolent beings could have the power to see that far into the future and to make those choices and to choose their lives.
Wow. I wonder if that has anything to do with like karma or how you choose to spend this time.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Do you think there's any physical identifiers to recognize like star family and other humans or star seeds, or do you like if you feel do you feel like you could say like, oh, there's a star kid or a star seed or an indigo child or something? Do you think you could recognize that, and if so, what would cause you to do that?
For me, the only thing is seeing someone's aura, which is not a physical trait. So I guess I don't know of any physical traits, but I do see, because I'm attracted to Andromeda, I can see star seeds from that system. They will have a violet aura. And usually they are helping people in careers such as medicine or teaching or things like that. They're very much healers.
Did you ever have any negative experiences?
I did, yeah. So the there's different types of reptilians. There's benevolent, there's negative, there's neutral. Just like there's benevolent humans, there's evil humans, there's neutral. As a whole, the the reptilians are neutral, and I would say the humans as a whole, unfortunately, are neutral. We are not doing enough good as a whole to be considered good. And what they showed me is that they are currently farming humans for meat. And they showed me that, and they said, when you stop doing this to animals, we'll stop doing this to you. And it was like so crazy, but I don't know. It was just a really intense vision.
Yeah, that sounds really intense. Um,
Yeah.
have you ever had any like hospital experiences in dreams or sleep paralysis?
Yeah. So the reptilians often will abduct me and do vivisection and do dissection while I'm awake and alive. And again, it's them trying to say you need to start treating beings on your own planet the way you want to be treated. So that's very like scary and negative. But on the flip side, there's I've had some healing work with Arcturians, and they have lifted my spirit up like this out of my bed with like 1,000 hands, like pushing me up and bringing me up and filling me with like white light. And it's just the most healing, like warm and the best feeling in the world.
I know that one. That's a
Yeah.
good one. So, in these abduction experiences, is it during your sleep?
Yeah, it's during my sleep.
And does anything you do like counteract it? I mean, it sounds like you're able to communicate with them and talk to them. Do you wake up with any marks on your body?
You know, I haven't noticed, but if there were marks, I presume that they would have wiped my memory.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all like really fascinating stuff. Is there anything that you want to share of your experience? And additionally, I think everyone would love to hear you talk about exactly how you go about going into trances specifically for you and what's worked well for you to have these intense visual experiences, because I know a lot of people really, some of them are afraid to see these beings, but some people would really love to. So
Yeah.
what would you give advice for?
My number one advice is ask, because so here's how it happened. I heard about aliens and I was a non-believer, and you recommended the book We the Arcturians, and I read this, and that night or the next day I saw aliens. And all I did was I was kind of joking around, and I was like, okay, Arcturians, if you're there, like, let's talk. And I didn't think they were going to answer, and they came to me right away.
So then how do you do it now? Like, I mean, do you go into any meditation or any trance?
So if I want to talk to them, I'll do it at night, in the state where I'm just between sleeping and wake. And I'll just relax my body and get really zen and just tune everything out. But first, I always make sure that I'm protected and surrounded with white light and the highest beings with the highest intention. And then I just tell them, like, if I have a problem or I want to know something, like, hey, will you please come to me in a dream and help me out with X, Y, and Z or something? And then the next day, like, real life events will occur that couldn't have happened without their help.
That's beautiful and amazing. And I love to hear
Yeah.
just how fluidly it seems that your communication has been, and how much assistance you've gotten from these beings. I think it gives a lot of hope and a lot of love, back to them also for doing that. And I think the Arcturians are, guides who I've worked with a lot, and I've seen really similar things as far as the ease it is to connect with them. Do you notice anything else in your life, like your diet or your mood, affecting your ability to do that?
Um, so I used to be on extremely heavy doses of antidepressants, and they were such intense doses that it was like double what FDA approved, but it was like legal to do that because it was like a necessity. And once I slowly got off of them, it took 4 years and it's still going. Once the doses were decreased, my psychic powers just amplified. So I think that if you can avoid any sort of pharmaceuticals, any sort of substances like that would mess with your brain, that'll help a lot. And I've also been trying to eat. I cut out milk, so I only drink almond milk, and so just as long as you're trying to minimize like dairy products, animal products, meat products, and exercise, that's going to be huge because once I was driving to work and I asked the Arcturians telepathically, I said, how can I communicate better with you? And they were like, you're not going to like the answer. I was just like, oh my God, like, what do you mean by that? I thought they were going to like ask me to like do some demonic stuff or like make animal sacrifices. And they're like, you have to eat clean and you have to exercise. And I was like, what? And they were like, we knew you weren't going to like that answer because I hate exercising and I hate eating healthy, but it's true.
It's true. I know. I
Yeah.
was really grumpy when I found that out too.
Yeah. And the worst part is like no sugar and no bread.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to share?
Um, I guess the last thing is if you guys have pets, they are extremely intuitive and they are star beings. One of my cats is from Sirius and the other cat is from Lyra. So if you guys are able to communicate with your pets at all, they can totally help you. I've
That's
asked my
great
cat
advice.
to help me out, and sometimes he obliges, sometimes he doesn't because he's really sarcastic, but the other cat does. So yeah.
So, where can we find your content online? I know you make awesome YouTube videos. What is your channel name?
My channel name is Kyrie, Kyrie space Fluffins. So yeah, all of my spirituality videos will be coming out on YouTube. My YouTube channel started, I think, in 2016, and it was not spiritual at all. Once I went public with my alien video, I've just been putting out spiritual stuff, but it was not something that I had previously been thinking I would be public with. But as a starseed, I do think it's very important to share this information if you can. And my journals will be online at some point too.
Awesome. Is there anywhere else people can follow you?
Instagram and Twitter. Well, Instagram is at Kyrie Fluffins and Twitter is at Twitter Panda, TWITR Panda.
Great. Thank you so much, Kyrie. It was awesome to talk to you.
Thank you. All
See ya.
right, bye.